2, 1. All right. Hey, everybody. This is Guru Ham, host of the Urban Professionals Podcast, the newly minted podcast for the urban professionals community out of DC, Silver Spring, DMV area. So I have the pleasure, actually the honor of interviewing the man, the myth, the legend, Justin Saunders, the founder of the Urban Professionals Podcast. And we're going to basically go off of, how everything started. So Justin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure thing. So thanks for having me on episode 1 of this momentous occasion for the UPC podcast. So my name is Justin Saunders. I founded Urban Professionals Community unofficially for the first time back when I was living down in Georgia in 2014. And then when I moved back up here, I resurrected that, and I'm sure we'll touch a little bit more on that later. But resurrected that here in Maryland, DC area, and then officially we launched as a nonprofit in 2021, post pandemic. So it's been a great journey. But that's who I am. I'm also by daytime, I guess you could say, I'm a consultant, data analytics stuff. I'm a family man. My wife Kelly, who we'll talk about, I'm sure. My baby Amelia, and that's what makes up me.
That's good. That's good, man. Great to hear it. So, first question: you said, how old is UPC actually? Like, when did you start UPC initially?
Yeah. So, UPC actually started, like I said, back in Columbus, Georgia. So, quick history lesson on me: when I graduated from school, I was 2 years in Connecticut. And then they shipped me down to Georgia, a place where I didn't want to be, but I was trying to please my job. Columbus, Georgia, which is like not Hotlanta. It's like an hour and a half south of Hotlanta. So it's like not like popping. Like it's got a real small town feel to it, even though it's not that small. Big army base there. And so, I was like, I need to find other professionals, urban professionals, people who look like me, who are upwardly mobile and trying to be out here doing things like all the things in my mind. I just want to bounce my ideas off of people. So I started at the time, which was called Urban Professionals in Columbus, Georgia. Started that, and the rest is history. And that was, like I said, back in probably 2014, and I moved from there in 2015, so we existed maybe a year down there before I came up to Maryland.
Man, that is awesome. It's awesome that you could take, number one, create a space for individuals that feel comfortable, right? Because it kind of seemed like you were going through like a little bit of an uncomfortable stage. And instead of dealing with that in the way of saying, you know what, I'm going to just deal with it, like the next place that I go is going to be better, you actually thought outside of the box, right? Mm-hmm. Like a true entrepreneur. And you said, you know what, I'm just going to create something that's going to bring individuals like me to me. That's pretty awesome.
That's exactly what I did. I'm like, I'm not seeing it naturally. I'm not seeing places to go where I can convene with people like myself, it just wasn't it. So it's like, all right, let me create it. And that's what I did.
Solid. I love it. I love to hear it, man. So let's talk about types of events.
All right.
What types of events does UPC primarily do? And you also have a beautiful story about how you met your wife too. So I want you to shout out to Kelly. Like I want you to throw that in there too. But let's talk about what type of events that UPC has done in the past. Sprinkle that story in there, and then let's talk about some future events, like what UPC actually has on the horizon.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right, UPC. I'm gonna start off with our mission statement, if you don't mind, so I can make sure that we're all aligned. So, our mission as an organization is to establish a community where young Black professionals can form deeper relationships, get connected to local resources, and then master the tools to build wealth. So our events kind of help do all three of those things. So first off, connecting with people, form friendships. We do a lot of social events, and that's how we get people into the fold. That's how we started off. especially here in the DC area. We did nothing but social events for about 3 years until we started taking a little bit of a different turn. But our social events range from monthly happy hours where there's no real programming. You just meet up. We meet up at a bar. And nowadays it's a lot more of us. So it's like there's a little bit more of the planning that needs to happen. But, it's just social. You come there to network and meet people.
Yeah.
But we also do like what we call signature events where, there's a theme and we put planning and effort into it, and we're going to charge people at the door as such that we can bring money into the organization. So things like dating in the district, things like game night, things like our urban mix and mingle, those kind of things, we're going to charge a little bit for. But again, those are still purely social events. And then we also have our wealth building side, of course. So on the wealth building side, we do what we call like master classes, or we're kind of changing the term to investor socials. So people who want to learn different ways to make money and build wealth. We're providing platforms, events for you to come to, network with other like-minded people, but actually learn something while you're there. And we've been doing that for a couple of years now as well. So we got the wealth building events, and then we have masterminds, which couple with those wealth building master classes where people can dive deep into a given topic for a few weeks, a few months with a cohort of similarly minded people who are interested in that topic. So those are the different types of events that we have. There's other things that I won't get into right now, but that's basically the gist of it.
That's awesome, man. I actually, it's funny how this is coming about, because I actually met you guys, UPC, you specifically, you, Sean, a couple other people met you guys at a game night. At one of the game nights that you guys had in DC, because my better half, she went on Meetup and she found you guys. She said that it was interesting. She saw some interest. She developed some interest, and like me, like I always am. Okay, cool. Let's go. Let's rock out. And from just networking with you guys, her and I, we were able to do this your first financial event. What was the event that you guys? It was kind of like a series that you guys were doing. What was that called?
Oh yeah, education with alcohol. Yeah, that was
yes, education.
Sean comes up with all the great ideas, so that was a Sean patented idea. But education with alcohol, you already know how that works. So.
Yeah, shout out to Sean Davis, man. So yeah, we did the first event, and it went off without a hitch, man. It was awesome. It was an awesome feeling. And I guess we've been hooked ever since, man. That was back in like 2021? Was that 2020?
No. That was 2019, brother.
That was 2019?
No, that was 2020 that you did that event. That was 2020.
Okay, it had to be like
we linked with y'all in 2019, I think.
Yeah, it had to be like January 2020 or something like that when we got in. Yes, your events definitely take some planning. I have learned to get used to the planning of UPC, because it is indeed an operation, and you guys deserve all the accolades that you have from your community, both internal and external. So shout out to you for that. Let's talk about, did you kind of mention some past events that you guys did? I know we talked about what the organization is and mission statement or whatever, but throw some other events out there outside of education and alcohol, which is still clutch. We're waiting for the next education and alcohol event to do, but throw some more at us.
Yeah, so like I said, we have our monthly happy hours, which we call our UPC socials or our UPC Saturdays, because we normally do it on a Saturday afternoon. But I'd say some of our most biggest events, definitely game night. And I'm gonna plug that real quick because it's coming up on the 1st of July. By the time this podcast release, it'll probably be either that time or a little bit after that. But for those who are listening live, definitely show up to game night. It's a staple for us. We do it big. And yeah, our game nights are, it's a typical game night that you would expect, and then some, and then a lot more, right? So we got,
for sure.
Music, we got food, and we're doing it at a bar. So we got drinks flowing. And then we also have like very network oriented, and that's what we're known for. So we're doing like curated networking games to help people meet each other. And then we do big games at the end to make sure that like everybody gets involved, has a good time. We're taking pictures, all that stuff. So there's game night, and then there's of course dating in the district. Which I'm sure we'll get into.
Let's talk a little bit about dating in the district, man.
Yeah.
The last dating in the district, I was actually volunteering downstairs, but
Yeah.
when I went up there to like get something to eat or order something or whatever, it was easily 300 plus people.
Yeah.
Called these social. It was easily three. So let's talk a little bit about the last dating in the district and also like the demographics of UPC. Like who's actually attracted to UPC? Like what are your numbers overall? Like off the top, it doesn't have to be specific, but kind of like off the top.
Yeah. So off the top, I mean, we're just getting better about tracking our stats because we just introduced a membership program last year. So in terms of official members who are donating to UPC as an organization to help us build and making that commitment, we have a little bit shy of 70 members at this time.
Awesome.
But obviously, you know, we're having more than 70 people showing up at our events. So we have longstanding people that just been around for a while. We have a lot of new people that come in. So in terms of numbers, I'd say any given event, I'd say anywhere from about a third to half, probably closer to half of the people are new. New people can be people who have just moved to DC or area, DC, Maryland, and Virginia. These can be people who you know, have even been here a while but just haven't plugged in yet, or people who even have lived here their whole lives and they're just kind of looking to meet new people. So most of our events, you know, are really good at attracting new people, first-time attendees. In terms of demographics, I'd say it's about half and half, definitely leaning more to women.
Yeah.
We definitely bring a good amount of men out because we partner with organizations like the Black Men Network.
Yes. Good guys over there.
Bring the brothers out who are constantly been supporting us from the get-go. And, you know, we bring a lot of brothers out in that way. Whereas I know a lot of other meetups, a lot of other social organizations sometimes struggle in that aspect. So that's one area that I think we've done really good at. And then obviously in terms of ethnicity or those kind of demographics, we definitely appeal more. I'd say our largest demographic is Blacks or African Americans or those of the African diaspora. But, you know, we're definitely open to anybody. Our doors are wide open. We have everybody and anybody a part of our organization, man. But our key demographic that we appeal to are the young Black professionals, and young, maybe between like 21 to 45. That age range is our target.
Solid, man. It sounds like you guys are doing it sounds like you guys are doing a lot of the groundwork and you planted a lot of seeds. I heard you say Black Men Network, man. Shout out to Willie, Pedro, shout out to Donovan, shout out to Sean, you know, shout out to Austin, like shout out to all of those guys because they definitely hold it down on their side, and definitely for UPC and Black Men Network, looking for more collaboratives moving forward to make sure that we're bringing these young professionals together. I'm in awe. Like I love the organization. I love the setup. I love the fact that you guys are a nonprofit. I love the fact that you have a mission statement. Can you give it to us one more time? Just give us a mission statement one more time. I don't think the audience heard enough about what the mission statement of UPC is, because it's awesome. It's an awesome concept and idea.
Of course. So our mission is to establish a community of young Black professionals who can form deeper relationships, get connected to local resources, and master the tools to build wealth.
Awesome. And wealth building is very important. Is very important. I think it is. It's not one thing. I feel like it's the only thing, especially when it comes to people who look like us, you know, Black and brown people, descendants of the diaspora. We need to make sure that we understand that there's more than just one type of wealth, right? When people hear wealth, they think about money, but there's also 10 different specific types of wealth, and we'll get to that on another episode. One of them is money, another one is knowledge, another one is health. You know, you always hear health is wealth, you know, but for this particular, we're talking about, you know, your pockets. Make
Yeah.
sure that you're taking care of the things that are in your pockets, because you don't always want to rely on resources. You want to be your own resource, if that makes sense. Self-sufficiency, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we get that way through knowledge. We get that way through sharing knowledge. We get that way from just creating organizations like UPC, attaching ourselves to organizations like the Urban Professional Community, because the one thing that you're going to find there is urban professionals, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, indeed. So let's talk about future vision,
Yeah.
right? So I know that this probably ballooned into, like many ideas, like many things that we do in our life, kind of ballooned into something bigger. And I know that um, every successful business is always moving forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every successful business is always moving forward. They're using what they learned to help achieve the things in the future. So let's talk about future vision for
Yep.
UPC. What do you see UPC being, I guess, in the next 5 years, right? The
Yeah.
cliche question. Let the
Yeah.
5, 10, 15, let's get that plan. So
Right.
talk a little bit about what we want UPC to actually become, and how do we actually get there as well?
Okay. I'm glad you asked this because I don't talk about it a lot, but I definitely think about it a lot. And I definitely want everyone to understand, where the organization is headed, and why we're here. I just read off the mission statement twice. But I want you to plant this vision in your head. So plant the vision where, you're moving to a new city, right? Let's say you're moving to New York, Chicago, Salt Lake City, Vegas. I don't know, wherever it is,
Wherever, yeah.
wherever it is, there is a UPC community already existing there. And that community allows you to do two things. It allows you to plug in quickly with people who also identify themselves as a young Black professional, right? So automatically, we're taking that hard work out, and we're allowing you to plug into the community very easily. The second thing, as you start coming to the happy hours and the social events, and you maybe join membership and start coming to some of the members only brunches and that kind of stuff, you're like, man, like, all right, now I'm trying to get my financial situation together. It might have cost me a lot to move out here. Maybe I just graduated from college. Maybe I, I've been taking care of some relatives and my money's not right. How do I
Yeah.
build wealth? So we want to provide an accelerated platform for you to do that as well. And we do that through a community learning environment where you're learning from your peers, but you're also learning from other experts who are connected in that community. So that's my vision, is that we have all across the United States, bro, like we have different chapters of UPC existing. And think of other organizations kind of like a NSBE or National Society of MBAs, or whatever type of affinity group you may have been in college. This one is to accelerate your wealth building, right? I don't see that anywhere. So
No.
this is the gap that the UPC is going to fill.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I know that you have the chapter that is basically DC Silver Spring area, but I
Mhm.
don't doubt that something this positive can be contagious enough to get to another county, another city, another
Yeah.
area.
Oh yeah.
Especially like the mecca of blackness right now is like Atlanta.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't I don't really see this thing staying in the DC area, because I know that, the members that you have, the 70 members plus that you have, because I mean, there's people that I've met that have moved to other areas, and hopefully we can link up with them and start the UPC in their area. But that's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's really
And
awesome.
and it
So
all comes down
yeah,
to a couple things that enable us to do that. One of them is funding. And again, just launching membership last year really helped us out with that. So that we can
absolutely.
expand and do more and make our stuff more professional and tight. But also grant funding. We're a nonprofit and we're pursuing that this year as well. So I would not be surprised, man. I would not be surprised if it happens sooner than everyone is expecting.
Yeah, the blow up is imminent, and
Yeah.
if UPC keeps doing all the things that it's doing, connecting people, being a connector, being a hub, being a valuable hub, then I believe that the goals that you have put forth are actually going to come to fruition. So, I'm Team UPC, so I want to see it grow. I want to see it glow, just like everything else. I see you got Baby Amelia giving you a couple claps. Giving you a couple
Absolutely.
claps. So let's talk
Absolutely.
about let's talk about your upcoming events, man. You guys have, I see, like 2 events in July.
Yeah.
Can we speak to I think you already talked to the game night, but let's talk about the first Fridays with urban investors, man. That just sounds like something I want to be at.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's just talk about a little bit about first Fridays with urban investors, man. Can you spill a little bit of that out for us, please?
Of course, of course. So let me explain this vision because this is also something that's like hot off the press and hasn't even made it out to market yet.
Oh man,
We're advertising it. So it's something
members get an
that
exclusive. Members get an exclusive. Don't forget
yeah,
that.
absolutely, absolutely. It's exclusive, man. But no, it's so you know what this is, but I'm not sure all the listeners know what it is, and it's a RIA group, a real estate investment association. That is what
Mm,
Urban Investors is. And what that is a group of people who are a group of investors, right? Who are trying to leverage shared knowledge, shared resources, shared communications to help accelerate their investment journeys. They do that
mm.
bringing in people who are educating them, talking about different topics, having networking events, sharing resources in their group chats and stuff. It kind of sounds very familiar to things that we're already doing, but we're
Yes.
putting an official
Yes.
label on that, and we're launching our very own real estate investment association under the domain of UPC, but a subgroup of UPC. And so, first Fridays, the first Friday of every month, we're going to introduce a networking series for people who are current real estate investors, hopeful real estate investors, established real estate investors, or people who are just curious to come and network and learn and meet with other investors or interested investors. And we're going to have educational aspects, but it's really mostly focused on the networking. And we're going to be doing that every first Friday. And the first location is going to be in Crystal City, Virginia, at a place called Highland R&R.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So inside of your nonprofit, you are creating these channels
Hmm.
to educate individuals, so to educate them on whatever, like if they want to be social, cool. If you want to be social and want to learn about real estate, cool. Like it's like you guys are becoming a one-stop shop situation for the everyday professional.
Yep.
Because I mean, people know me. I'm in the real estate, fix and flip in Philly. I got a couple things that I can't really talk about yet because everybody listening can't sign an NDA. But yeah, being able to provide those tunnels and those funnels for individuals to walk through and connect to, for individuals who actually know about the ins and the outs of real estate, it's awesome. It's just
Hmm.
awesome, and it's an educational aspect. So I love the fact that you're not like down people's throat with it. Like, hey, you can be a millionaire in 60 days or something like
No,
that.
no,
Like, no,
no.
come one, come all. Hey, this person's been doing this for 6 years. This is how they've been able to make their fortune. This person's been doing it for 30 days. This is where they're at with it. Kind of allowing people to sidestep landmines with knowledge. I think that's phenomenal.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, like the vision of it's in one of our advisors. So UPC, again, we're a full-on organization. We've got advisors. We've got quarterly advisory meetings where we report out to people who hold us accountable to our goals.
Yeah,
One of the things that our earliest advisor meetings suggested was that we establish a funnel and draw a relationship between our social side and our wealth building side. So our
absolutely.
social side is really a funnel. And you put it perfectly. It's subtle, right? It's not like we're beating you over the head where you have to come out to this real estate stuff or this stock investing stuff or this entrepreneurial stuff. If that's not where you are right now, that's fine. But I want you to know that UPC is going to be the ultimate platform for you to get that should you even be curious about it? And we're going to make it super simple for you to get in and learn and plug in, and not just learn education. Anyone can go on YouTube and
Yeah.
and digest knowledge. Anyone can go on Audible and read and listen to an audio book.
True.
But having those people to your left and to your right to lean on and say, okay, you did this before. How do I do that? And somebody that you trust because they're associated with our network.
Yeah.
That's something that you're not going to get in a lot of different places. And we want you to be able to get that here when you're ready. So
Absolutely. I mean, listen, I know I'm affiliated with you guys' organization because I love to affiliate myself with great things. I like to stay close to the campfire. I shout out to Shavir Ross for coining that term. I actually met Shavir Ross at a UPC event. She's a real estate developer. She's a fix and flipper. She works in Maryland. Staying close to the campfire, very important. I met a lot of great people. Even one of the guys that attended the first financial program that me and my significant other we hosted. He is now on he's not on Bigger Pockets, but he was just on a Bigger Pockets episode for his vending, his Airbnb, like a bunch of stuff. Really just never know who you're going to meet when you come to a UPC event. The thing is just come, be open-minded. You know, you're already family before you get there. Like you're family as soon as you walk in. So that's awesome, man. So we've talked a lot about what UPC does. I made you do the mission statement twice, or at least once. You know, it might get you a third time. But let's talk about the bread and butter of the situation, the membership process. How do you go about becoming a member, and also what are the costs of membership for the year? Okay. And then what do members get? Like, what do members get? Because people, sometimes the economy can expand and it can contract. And, people are saving up to buy homes. They might be saving up to pay off like debt and stuff like that. Let's talk about what the membership process cost is and what members actually get from being affiliated as a member with UPC. I think it's worth it, but I'm biased. I'm already a member. So,
Yep. So, I'll start off with what membership is and what you get from the membership program. So, again, we launched membership last year in the fall officially. And we had what we called a membership launch party. Everybody was dressed down to the nine. We showed up, we introduced ourselves, and we really focused on our members. And that was the launch of an opportunity for us to really kind of relook at our identity and what we're trying to do and who we're pouring the most of our resources and our attention and our time and effort into.
Awesome.
And those are our members. So, one of the benefits of membership is you get the most upfront access to whatever it is that we're doing. So, you're going to hear about it first, especially if you're on a committee. You're going to be involved in the planning of whatever that is. Another benefit of membership is that you get access to a lot of member exclusive stuff. So we've already demonstrated this. That member launch party, obviously, if you attended that, you were a member. We've had members only brunches. We had a good one a couple weeks back that was just a real good vibe. We had it at a rooftop. We have a members only group chat. Everything that we do is on Discord as membership. So you're getting exclusive content there, exclusive events in some cases that you would not get if you're not a member. And perhaps one of the biggest benefits of membership is the pricing model. So for a membership, if you join UPC in the towards the beginning of the year, and this is how we're doing it this year. We can't promise that this same model is going to follow for next year. But you pay a certain amount, right? So this year, it was $100 to join. What that gets you is discounted entry or free entry to our signature events, right? So we've already had Dating in the District. We've already had some member exclusive events. And we've got game night coming up. We've got our urban mix and mingle coming up. We've got our member celebration at the end of the year. So these are things that as a member, you don't have to pay for at all.
Awesome.
And even some of our wealth building events. So we've got something planned for September that's going to be charged to non-members. And it's going to be a big event, probably on the heels of Dating in the District, but it's going to be appealing to, real estate and how to go from real estate owner to investor. So
Mm.
that kind of environment, you're getting free access to all that. So now I mentioned that in the beginning of the year, membership was $100. You could get discounted membership if you signed up during the sign up of a signature event promotional
Mm-hmm.
period. So for the second half of the year, we're actually reducing that to $60.
Oh, okay.
And it runs through the calendar year. Membership is going to run through the calendar year. So for the rest of this year, we've got a lot planned. You can get your membership for $60, but even more so, if you sign up as a promotion of game night, and there's a ticket option for this, you can get it for, I think, $50. So a 20%
Wow.
discount for the rest of the year. You
Wow.
don't have to pay for any signature events. You get all the member exclusive stuff. It's a crazy bargain.